This is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
And good evening from Las Vegas, the scene of last night's Democratic presidential debate. We begin here tonight with the money from overseas that is helping to keep some big American banks, big brand names, from going out of business. We've sure heard a lot about globalization over the past few years, and now it's here. And now some blue chip companies with names like Citigroup, Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley, and Bear Stearns have announced huge sales of their stock to big investors overseas. This money is coming from Abu Dhabi, Singapore, China, Kuwait, Korea, Japan, and a Saudi prince, among others. Some are suggesting that Wall Street's own excesses led to this in part, and now questions are being raised about potential fallout from these massive transactions. We'll begin here tonight with our senior investigative correspondent, Lisa Myers.
Today, Americans awaken to dueling headlines. The world comes to Wall Street's rescue versus America's humiliation, begging for billions in foreign bailouts.
I think this is a big message of what?
The influx of money from everyone from a Saudi prince to foreign governments has been staggering. Citigroup, $20 billion, including funds from governments of Singapore, Kuwait, and Abu Dhabi. Merrill Lynch, $12.8 billion, some from Korea, Kuwait, and Singapore. Morgan Stanley, $5 billion, from China. Experts say the banks had little choice.
They could lay off a lot more people, lose a lot more money, put the financial system at risk, or they could get the money being offered by Asians and Arabs. Right now, that's by far of the two the better choice.
Some economists believe that in a globalized economy, there is no cause for alarm, that this will stabilize banks and help consumers.
It keeps the line of credit going that they'll probably need to get through this very difficult time in the economy. So overall, it's a very good thing.
But some argue that any economic benefit of the bailout will be short-lived.
Basically what we're doing is the equivalent of farmers selling off their cows to buy milk.
Others warn that money from foreign governments may have strings attached.
We should all be worried at the prospect that foreign governments are going to gain even more influence than they already enjoy over the U.S. economy and the U.S. government.
So far, foreigners buying chunks of Wall Street has not triggered the same political uproar as a Dubai company's ill-fated effort to take over operations of U.S. ports. Perhaps because politicians know the alternative could be painful. Still today, in an interview with NBC's Brian Williams, Democrat Hillary Clinton said new rules may be needed.
We often have differences in our security and our national goals with some of these countries.
And why all this is happening worries many economists, who say this is the culmination of years of overconsumption and importing too much foreign oil, and that the situation may get worse. Lisa Myers, NBC News, Washington.